Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rukakadash. I want to give a double honor to the elders and apostles of grace, a great millstone who do rule well. And I want to give a salutation out there to the whole elect out there pushing and striving to push this truth. I was watching this Joe Lewis history. I was watching a couple boxers, and when I first started this biography of his, I had became a fan, man. That man, Joe Lewis, man, was something special. He didn't waste punches, and he was born in the time where our people really had their neck being pressed on by the oppressor, okay, at an all-time high. And the brothers in the truth, we all know who that oppressor is, Esau Edom. Okay, we've been fighting with him like a boxing match since the womb. All right, but after watching this documentary about him, you know, you can always see how Bashim Yahushua words is living words. And no matter who we are, Israelites, no matter what level, base or high, okay, don't nobody escape his words, okay? Don't nobody escape the punishment that's put on Israel if you are Israelite, all right? It don't matter how you try to dress it up to these damn demons, to Esau, to the people that you think that's in charge, all right? Let's start it off here with, let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah 30. Isaiah 31. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Okay, and you're going to see, I ain't going to play it all, but if you brothers get a chance, man, go watch that Joe Lewis documentary. And, you know, he was adding sin upon sin because it was around World War II, and at first he was the face of the black community, so they weren't going to let him become world champion. But then all of a sudden he was best hands down in the U.S., and so Russia had a boxer, and then that's when you start seeing the Edomites and the rest of the United States coming behind him, rallying behind Joe Lewis so they can get a win over the USSR, okay? And they basically did what most Jakes fall victim to now, you know. In Esau being that serpent and finessing our people out of the right ways and the right things to do, basically. Okay, verse 2. That walked to go down into Egypt, and I have asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And you're going to see that's exactly what he did. You know, he's at the top of the boxing world, and he enlisted into the army to go fight at that time. And we all know that that's a big no-no. Okay? Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Yeah, man. So as your how about you outside said, you put your trust uh, in this man. You know, um, you pick up a snake. Don't be surprised when you get bit. Okay. Bottom line. So let's play a little bit of this so y'all can see what happened, what he did, because I didn't know this part at all.
Down on the cut. He's being counted out. And that's all. Primo Carnera wins it.
Shaft died 5 days later.
Carnera was seen as the representative of the Mussolini government.
World War II was just around the corner.
Joe Louis, the sensational brown bomber from Detroit, and ex-heavyweight champion Primo Carnera.
Never out of position, and he was a great puncher with either hand, and he didn't waste anything. There was no space in between his punches. They were short, concise, explosive.
On a third time. Carnera tells the referee he can't go on, it's all over. Joe Louis, the winner by a TKO.
Lewis's victory over Mussolini's giant elevated him in the American public's eye.
He was the only black man that was portrayed in newspaper articles other than crimes.
Joe Louis was respected by everyone in the world. I mean, he was loved.
He was an idol of black America. Proof that if given a real chance, they could compete and they could win.
Whenever he fought, the streets were empty. Now, the minute the fight was over, you'd see hundreds of guys, and we would imagine it better than we ever saw it.
Max Baer was known as one of the hardest right-hand punchers in the history of the game. He was a former champion and a seasoned veteran.
I'm not making any prediction what round will knock Max Baer out in, but I'm going to knock him out just as soon as possible.
In the midst of the Depression, Joe Louis versus Max Baer sold out Yankee Stadium and cleared the first $1 million gate in over a decade.
Oh, I thought he was the turning point in boxing.
And what always killed me is we don't peep off the boats. We're nobodies. We ain't nothing but niggas. But man, they sure break their neck to come see us in some folly, don't they?
There was a moment in time when a fighter threw punches that you didn't see.
And then I just now noticed this. You see the other dude. What's that supposed to be? The Star of David or something? These devils, man.
The man fell, and then we knew it had become the sweet science. Joe Louis, a very, very economical mover, wastes very little, very hard puncher too.
A true practitioner of the sweet science.
He's gone down now from the right to the chin. Slow motion fall there from Maxi Baer.
Look how the referee made sure to push him all the way in the corner. These devils, bro. I literally, real talk, I hate them, bro. I hate them, bro. Even if I knew the truth, I had this feeling that they knew that we was better than them. That's why they used to always have these different requirements that Jake would have to jump through hoops and go through all these uphill battles to get to the same spot that they fat ass was already sitting at.
And he was the greatest finisher maybe of all time in the heavyweight division. Not maybe, he was. He got you hurt, he got rid of you. He got you out of here. He didn't get a second chance.
Joe Louis dropped him 4 times in 4 rounds.
A fourth round winner by knockout, impressively, over Maxi Baer. Didn't he do well?
Pressure was mounting to grant Louis a title shot, but there were many who still could not accept a black fighter. He was passed over again and again.
See, and all people that you see walking around now today, this is gone out the back of their minds. And this was what, no more than what, 50, 60 years ago, and they really think that these devils have changed.
And a 21-year-old Joe Louis, the overnight sensation of the heavyweight division.
shining example of overcoming the odds.
Joe Louis wears the crown of all the heavyweights, despite the arguments as to whether he is the real champion or not.
Yeah, he wins the title. And of course, the biggest sport in the country. So all the press is there, and Joe is champion world. Not yet. Not till I beat that man. He didn't even have to say his name.
That man was Max Schmeling. Joe refused to call himself a champion until he avenged his only defeat.
Joe Louis defends his World Heavyweight Championship against former title holder Max Schmeling, the only man who has ever defeated the champion.
Louis secluded himself into training. He knew, as did everyone else, that this fight was the most important of his life. Viewed as a battle of nations, politics, ideas. Boxing is war individualized. Pitting man against man.
The heavyweight championship, its meaning was transcending pure supremacy in the ring. Its meaning was really that of a world beater.
German troops marched into Austria for what the Germans called the reunification of the two countries.
Everybody recognized what Schmeling represented.
The stage is set for their historic rematch.
The match had become more than sport. War was coming.
On the verge of World War II, with Hitler, madman.
And it's the exact same way now, because ever since all this war talk been started, they've been quick to put a Jake on the face of wartime, basically, meaning like I think the new general in the army and like the guy who's doing all the talking now, I think he black, if I'm not mistaken. And then the last couple things I was watching, especially when the U.S. is addressing somewhat nations that's coming up against them, it's always a woman in uniform talking to them like America ain't gonna go full of pride, you know. But it's always Jake that they use, man. Even in all the wars, that wasn't a war that had nothing to do with our nation, man. But they'd be first to put Jake out there in the front. Niggas be more than happy to go to fight at Esau's army. It's crazy.
Trying to create a master race, take over the world. I mean, the whole world's watching. You talk about pressure. That's why Louis is the greatest.
Yankee Stadium, New York City.
If he didn't win this world title fight against Max Schmeling, he was ruined.
And it's in Yankee Stadium outdoors. I mean, you talk about...
Let me fast forward a little bit, because that's not... These brothers want to watch the fight, go watch the documentary. He ended up beating that little Nazi.
Joe
Forge and disease of the Nazi party.
Joe Louis all over Max Schmeling here in round one.
For one night, Joe Louis had united the free world under a single cause.
A crushing right explodes.
United the free world. We ain't free, bro.
Schmeling's jaw. Joe steps back.
And Schmeling was in fear right from the beginning.
You saw the referee push Joe Louis back, and it wasn't even a count, though. And
He realized that this is something else, a different cut of catch.
How does he respond to it? He destroys him. He annihilates him. He knocks him out in one round.
That to me is one of the best stories of a heavyweight fight.
Schmeling fell victim to the Brown Bombers blitzkrieg.
I think that's the greatest single event in the history of the world.
It doesn't look like Schmeling's gonna make it. It's all over. Joe Louis electrifies the boxing world with his magnificent first-round devastating knockout over Max Schmeling. And still champion, Joe Louis!
Louis's victory electrified the country.
And Joe Louis Lewis and Benny Leonard, they were fighters. They let people know they had value, that their race had value, their people had value. They had value. They pulled people out of those places.
It was the most uniting force I've ever seen in my life.
He began his historic run of 25 straight title defenses. Title defenses, 22 by way of knockout.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special. Lewis fought some 90.
With America firmly involved in World War II, he enlisted in the Army.
I've only done what any red-blood American would do.
During the war years, Joe Lewis fought some 90.
See, that's the thing. We're not red-blood Americans, man. Okay? We are the Hebrew Israelites, bro. You know, but of course, he know the truth now. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Oh, I didn't even see this. Verse 3. Whosoever loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his substance. Watch this.
Joe Lewis fought some 96 fights all over the world. It was said that some 5 million servicemen had a chance to see the champion box.
Lewis's ring career was never interrupted, not even for World War II, when he staged exhibitions under the claim, "I'm not fighting for nothing, I'm fighting for my country."
He frequently donated his entire purse to the Army or Navy Emergency Relief Fund.
Did you hear that? He was fighting while being in the Army and donating all his money back.
An act of kindness that would haunt him.
Here we are in Madison Square Garden for the Joe Louis Abe Simon Heavyweight Championship bout.
Private Joe Louis Barrow reports for duty. Duty in this case means that he is defending his $1 million World's Heavyweight Championship and donating his entire purse to the Army Emergency Relief.
Donate all his money to the U.S. Army.
When a loved one died, Joe would pick up the funeral expenses for a fellow serviceman.
Here it comes now.
Wow. Joe Lewis is incredible.
That verse, he will use thee until you have no need for thee, and then he push you to the side.
Incredible fighter and individual.
A great soldier, a great champion, and a great man.
There's Joe Louis, once again, his hand raised in triumph.
Never before and probably never again has a champion donated his entire purse, in this instance around $70,000, in the bright and brave cause of patriotism.
The IRS would come at Lewis years later, saying he owed millions on these donations. Would suffer financial ruin from this for the remainder of his life.
Yeah, see, and that's the main part I wanted to get, and to show how he was broke towards the end. He was living in Vegas, working at one of the main casinos, man. But that's Esau for you, man. And you know, and that's what Jake get for trusting in these devils, man. Like this man, this man won them over. Okay, at first they didn't even want to acknowledge him as being a champion because he was black, and they didn't like the way that we boasted. Okay, but besides that, he went through all the hoops and the rings, fought the other Edomites, head dude, one that enlisted in the army, fought while in the army, and donated his money back to the army, and they charged him taxes for that for the rest of his life. He donated money and they taxed him for it. They didn't cut him a break or nothing, bro. Like when I read that, bro, I was mad as shit, bro. I'm not lying, bro, because that goes to show you that this devil, he don't care about none of that, man. He don't care about none of that, man. That's why I read that verse. When the wicked when the wicked rule, man, the people mourn, man. You know, I'm talking about. Anyway, Ecclesiastes 7. Well, starting at 7. Surely oppression make a wise man mad, and the gift destroyed the heart. And that's basically what he was doing, man. Like he was destroying himself. Okay, giving away his gifts to these people, and it came back to bite him in his ass, man, for the rest of his life, man. The man died in debt, man. That's crazy, man. Verse 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Yeah, man. So through all that, he was a humble guy, and by him being an Israelite, he's about to get his get back on all them devils who had did him like that. That would make coming to the truth so beautiful. You start realizing that everything you go through, it's not just it's not all that we have coming. We do have get back coming to all the people that oppressed us in that way. You know what I'm saying? To all them Edomites, to all the individual stories that we don't even know about us, the brothers, but the people in the grave have took it to their grave. Guess what? You're gonna get up out them graves, and you still gonna have to pay for what you did to Yahweh Shai's people, man. But with that, because the video already went too long. But with that, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.